bride mannequin, La Pascualita. On March 29, 1930, in Chihuahua, Mexico, on the sideboard of a famous wedding dress shop, La Pascualita was exhibited for the first time. A very peculiar mannequin, not only for its beauty, but for its real appearance. The legend has it that the daughter of the bridal shop's owner, the day of her wedding, the day when it was supposed to be the happiest day of her life, became the most tragic one, since the bite of an insect caused her death. Her shattered mother decided to embalm her daughter to immortalize her memory, turning her into the main mannequin of her store, dressed as a bride. There are hundreds of people who say that they have seen her move her eyes, that they have felt that she follows them with her eyes, or even that she smiles at night. There are many employees who have claimed to be witnesses that the spirit of the bride is still inside the mannequin. Although the fact that you own a mannequin is a bit creepy, for brides close to get married is more like a harbinger of good luck. All the brides who have come to buy the dress worn by La Pascualita claim to have a successful marriage. The Snow White of the Magic Kingdom. Located in Veracruz, this amusement park is perhaps one of the most visited spots in the city for lovers of the supernatural, who seek to meet the invisible presences that supposedly hide in the dark. Perhaps the mystery of paranormal activity in the countryside is due to the fact that the park was built in what was formerly the General Pantheon of Veracruz. After a long process of notification to people who had relatives buried in the cemetery, the removal of thousands of human remains and the land of the cemetery, the park opened in November 1988. Some expressed their dissatisfaction with the sacrilege of moving human remains and throwing them into mass graves, but the government of Veracruz explained that many of the deceased buried in the cemetery had no relatives and weren't claimed during the period given by the authorities. Due to the unusual circumstances of recycling a cemetery to make it a playground for the families of the city, there's still a popular belief that in the Magic Kingdom there are not only souls in pain that remain anchored to the site, but there are human remains that weren't removed. The testimony of the grave diggers confirms that the oldest remains of the pantheon were not removed because it was quite difficult to get them. In addition to the alleged bodies not exhumed, in the history of the park there are stories of accidents and deaths in the park areas. The most famous of them took place in the 19s, when a girl died when a mechanical game installed in the parking lot of the Mayan Kingdom didn't work properly. Spirits among the games. The best known story of the supernatural events in the park is perhaps that of the figures that move at night. The park has several sculptures of fairy tale characters that, according to popular belief, they move at night. There is a testimony of a case in which an old-age cleaning worker heard noises at night and said that maybe someone had sneaked into the park with bad intentions. Following the sound, he was terrified and fled in terror when he saw that the sounds came from the sculptures of the Snow White dwarfs. In the pools, it is said that there are ghostly presences that pull the feet or hands of the swimmers, perhaps to frighten them or drown them. The ghost children that run among the games and move the swings. Also the disembodied voices and the appearances of shadows, but The most famous story is that one of Snow White. Among the sculptures in the park, Snow White is well known. In this video you can see a group of people venturing into the park during the night to record Snow White. It is seen that it is blinking rapidly. In addition to that, some neighbors in the area say that they may have had unpleasant feelings when passing by that place, listening to laments and screams, and that even those who try to destroy the sculptures, negative things have happened to them. The ghost town Misnebalam. In Mérida, Yucatan, there is a mysterious city called Misnebalam. In its good times, it was inhabited by at least 170 people and was dedicated to the cultivation of plants. However, at present, the city is completely abandoned because people say that Mist is a dangerous place because throughout its history, terrible deaths have marked their lands. One of the most terrifying legends of the place begins in 1910 with the story of a child named Juliancito. Juliancito was the son of a worker who, unfortunately, was mistreated and raped. Juliancito, in his grief, decided to stop feeling, hanging himself from a tree. Since Juliancito died, the city was no longer the same. The innocent child couldn't rest and made the village his home. They say that you can see the child running around the village, although his favorite place is the swings. Usually one of the games move as if someone were playing in there, regardless of whether there is wind or not. It wasn't only this spirit that caused the inhabitants of Benesbalam decided to leave, since it is said that dozens of paranormal entities live in the dark places of this village, like the black monk that appears on the roof of the church and extends his arms as if he were welcoming ghosts into the city. Shadows that look at you from abandoned houses, among other phenomena. The lights of the village, the houses, and the church light autonomously voices and strange noises that emanate from the dark solitude. This and more awaits you in Misnebalam, the city where the world of the dead and the living come together. And this is a photo of a person who visited the place.